This motivation is crap. Without being driven or obsessed, this motivation fades. And motivation is at the all-time high when your bills are paid, when your wife or husband is good, when everything is good, you're motivated. It's that person when all hell breaks loose and everything falls apart that says, I still gotta get it in. And how you get to that point in life, what I figured out, it's so noisy right now. This world is so noisy. We all walk around with these phones, computers. The world is so fast. We're not able to think. The most powerful weapon in the world, we walk around with it. It's our mind, it's our brain. You have to be able to go into a very dark place in your mind and figure who you are. Go back to what you want to do, what's your purpose. We can't figure our purpose out or why we're here or why we're even born or whatever because it's so loud in our mind. We don't have any quiet time with ourselves to sit back and say, what do I really want? There's so many different dialogues in our head that we can't think. So my biggest thing is you have to be alone in a very dark place in your mind to think about what is important to you.
And the thing is I call it the woman in the red dress. I see distractions the same way, which is that the better you become, the more attractive the woman in the red dress is. And so you can say no to a 6, but what about a 7?
What about a 12?
Exactly. What about a hypothetical 1,000?
Yep.
Right? Like that's really what it becomes because there is no limit on the upside. And so that's why having like some of the soft stuff of like, this is the vision, this is what we're trying to do. And there's 100 other things I could do, but each of the cost of those things is the one thing that matters most.
The only thing in life that stands between you and everything you've ever wanted to do is doing it.
Listen, every single thing in your life comes down to who you think you are. And by the way, who you think you are, your identity, who you believe you are, is how you'll behave, it's how you'll treat people, it's how you'll do things, it's the business you build, it's the way you study, it's the way you learn, it's the way that you perceive the world, it's the way that you think the world perceives you. All this is done by an identity. The greatest responsibility in your life is to be in control of your own thoughts. People have 60 to 70,000 thoughts going through their head a day. Most are negative. Time to freaking reprogram. And that's what I did. And so I started studying, finding information, new leadership training, sales training, like just self-development. I totally immersed, right down to total immersion. I totally immersed in new content, new information, being around new people, a new mindset, new way of thinking, a new way to see things. I went to events all the time because I needed to be around positive people, like-minded people that wanted to become how I wanted to become. Anything that was negative in my life so I could get it away from me. Change your identity. Reprogram yourself. When you change, everything changes.
It is what it is. Winners win, losers fucking lose. Winners are gonna come in, they're gonna get everybody to win with them. Losers are gonna come in, they're gonna pull everybody back. You wanna be on the winning side because the winning side is the guy who wins in life and the losers don't get shit. And that's it. If you quit, you're gonna quit everything hard in your life. And that's a big problem for you.
I want my mind to know who's in charge. So for the better part of 26 years, my mind was in charge of me.
Yeah.
Which is why I made all these horrible decisions. Once you take control of your mind, you start making decisions for yourself versus your mind making decisions for you. So basically, a lot of us aren't prepared for life. We get up willy-nilly and just hope life is gonna happen. It is gonna happen, but it's gonna happen with a prepared mind or an unprepared mind. Most people attack life with an unprepared mind. What I do is I try to account for all things that could happen, might happen, probably will happen, and then the unknowns. So basically, I can't account for everything, but I do know there could be some things that come up in life that you need to be ready for. I know for a fact I'm not gonna wanna work out tomorrow. Therefore, I'm preparing my mind for that. I don't wanna do that. I know tomorrow will come with some difficult decisions to make. It may come with getting a phone call saying someone died, this happened, that happened. I'm always preparing myself, not in a morbid way, but just like, look man, be ready for life. Don't let life just start attacking you left and right. Make sure that you start to build a mental armor so then you're ready for life. And that comes with a very physical way, and the physical helps out the mental.
In life, you should only ever be doing one of two things. And that is figuring out what you're most passionate about, like finding your dreams in life. And then 2, realizing those passions, realizing those dreams. And the first one is much harder. than the second one. If you know what you want to do, no big deal. You just commit your entire life to doing it, and you'll either get really close or you'll die trying. Absolutely fixate on what it is that I want to be doing all day long, every day. Like, what am I doing right now? Is this exactly where I want to be? And by always checking with myself, always checking in, like always hitting that reset button, I can always be really confident in my actions because I know that my ambition is true. It's like that platitude, without a goal you can't score. I really believe in that, because if you can't see like the goalposts, how do you know which way to kick the ball?
Whenever I get to a low point where I think, why do I even bother? I just remind myself, this is where most people stop, and this is why they don't win. And this relates to another one, which is a reminder for the gladiators in the arena who feel beat up and scarred with no hope in sight. Building a business is hard. Hard feels shitty. This is what hard feels like. And this is why most people can't do it, but you can. This is what hard feels like. This is where most people stop, and this is why they don't win.
Practice is an art that very few people appreciate, and it's the art of the maximized life. There's a great benefit to going through anything difficult, and if you're aware, like in advance and while and during, like anything that's going to happen that's very difficult and troubling. The great benefit is it gives you an opportunity to grow. It gives you an opportunity to express yourself under pressure, to show your character, to show who you truly are, and it gives you an opportunity to see how you handle a very difficult situation.
You can't achieve something seriously impactful if you're joking around and if you're losing your focus all the time and if nothing is important in a way to you. So that means setting priorities, knowing when is the time to invest the energy, when it is the time to release energy, when is it good now to recover, when are you really feeling this is now starting to be the limit. These are all very, very fine aspects that only you know about yourself. When you lift the weights, only you know. People outside watching, they don't know. If you're going through a struggle, if you're just warming up, they don't know. So that means to continuously integrating an internal dialogue into your practices.
So if you have a goal and you see that you've done something that moves you towards it, your brain produces a dopamine hit, and that makes you feel good, and it strengthens the neural circuits that moved you forward. It does both of those. That's reward and reinforcement. And what that means is, if you don't have a goal, you have no positive emotion. And when people say, you know, they're aimless, they're partly telling you that they're anxious, but they're also telling you that they have no positive emotion. Then every time you move even a tiny bit towards that, you're going to think, good work, man, good work. You get a little kick from that. You get a little stronger from that. Here's the deal. Maybe this isn't true, but maybe it is. You can have what you want in 5 years, but there's two conditions. You have to know what it is, and you have to aim at it.
I'm tired of feeling alone. I'm tired of also not even being there for myself. I mean, that's the loneliest, bro, when you don't even have yourself. Because you've set up so many little goals for yourself and not achieved them every time and time again that you don't even trust yourself.
Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim.
How do you deal with regret?
The bad things or the stupid things, you learn not to do bad things or stupid things. You know, all those things are beneficial in some way if you can get through them. The dumb shit that I've done or the bad mistakes that I've made, they've taught me. You know, you learn. That's why failure is so important. Like failing and fucking up and making mistakes, it's very important. That's how you learn. The bad feeling that you get from something that you shouldn't have done or wish you didn't do or wish you did better, like especially failing at something where you half-assed it and you just feel like a fucking loser, like that just teaches you. It teaches you to get your shit together.
The thing I would say is, once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
All successful people think there's magic to it. There's not magic to it, dude. If you win the day, if you win one single day, if you can win one single day, you have exactly the amount of magic needed to achieve anything that you want. I'm going to keep this short. I'm going to keep it sweet. You want to be somebody who succeeds. You want to be somebody who builds something. You want to be somebody who people write books about one day. You are going to have to be okay with being bad at shit for a long time. And that's the mentality you guys have to have. You have to be okay with looking like an idiot for a long time. You have to be okay not being good at it, all right? Every valuable lesson that you're going to come across in your life is going to come from you failing, all right? Because I hate losing. I hate to lose. But the thing is that once you understand that every time you lose, it's an opportunity for you to not only learn that lesson, but take it a +1 step. Okay, listen to what I just said. A +1 step past the lesson, you'll start to appreciate those lessons. You'll start to be okay with not being good at shit. You're gonna have to understand that losing is a part of ultimately winning. You're gonna lose a lot more than you win. And when you win, you're gonna figure out how to get better on top of it. If you're a true winner, they don't celebrate their wins. True winners take the win and they say, how could I have even gotten better? How could I have ran the score up? How could I have won by twice as many points? So you never really feel like you win. And you have to be okay with that. Okay? There's not one thing that I don't look at in my life and say, man, how could I get better at that? How could I win at that? How could I run the score up on that? That's how much I love to win.
You have to go to a different focus. The focus has to be so heightened that very few people, they even understand that, but they have it in them. They have it in them to go there. But you have to go to a place of fear, of suffering, of pain, of doubt. And that's when your mind, if it knows it's not gonna quit, it opens up. And once it opens up, that's my 40% rule. Once you can open your mind up when it knows it's not gonna quit, it finds more. It finds more focus, it finds more power, it finds more drive. And that's what you find in those moments. But without those moments, you don't know what you're capable of, because you're living a very structured life without risk. So I guess that's the thing with me, is I know I have the ability now to go to a place that's very, very hyper-focused, that I can accomplish some pretty amazing feats. Not because I'm amazing, because I allowed my mind to be open-minded for the possibilities of what can I achieve. Because I realized once I was talking to myself the right way and all this shit wasn't in my mind, wow, I went from this piece of shit kid who thought he was dumb, not successful, insecure, who stuttered when I first saw somebody, to a person who can now do all these things just because I now control my own mind.